Welcome back, guys, to Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns. As Hope gives us the skinny on what we have to do again, we continue to head away from the scene of our vicious battle versus the Earth Eater. And to more battles itself, I've gone back and of course done my usual amount of lovely grinding for EP back on those skeletons. And figured out that we could just beat down, stagger those guys. It's amazing. But thanks to that battle that we recently had, I'm kind of very much considering putting the ghostly shroud onto this cyber jumpsuit because, well, a hopefully physically debuff or physically attacking, resisting schemata is quite not a bad idea for one that only deals damage via debuffs itself. So, yeah, I like that a lot. Seems like something that is quite good for me to keep a hold of, you know what I mean? I'm just going to Mediguard up a little bit. Though, can I actually get a beat down on this guy from this point? Oh well, we may as well just completely mess you up. No, we couldn't get the proper beat down, but being glutton though. Yeah, it makes kind of sense for us to just take that off of the damaging schemata, give it a full resistance to something or other. And take it from there. In fact, what I could do if I were to set up it in a completely non-damaging way, which it is simply switch the spiritual veil for our ghostly hood. That makes us pretty much immune to things. Of course, we don't do any damage. The runic ring, which we could keep on, I guess. And then what I could do is I could switch in the Femme Fatale, which actually ups status element damage, which isn't going to do as much, but if we got poison on it, probably would. And status element duration up, because we don't need any extra stats on it. And then the double cross for extra ATB speed and guard defense might not be a bad idea. I don't think we need a lot of HP with this kind of one, so change our Garb's overall outlook, weaponry and the whatnot, to a lovely flowery one. But a highly defensive place as we reach Ruffian. Dead Junes. We've got a teleport enabled.
Nearly to the settlement now. I'm sure that you're looking forward to a bit of rest. But I wouldn't let your guard down if I were you. I would guess that everyone living there is part of the Bandit gang.
So don't be surprised if I wake up at knife point, is that it? Fine by me. It'd give me an excuse to beat some information out of him.
You'd use yourself as bait, just for that.
Sure thing, but I'm just getting stuck in things at the moment.
But don't let yourself get hurt, okay?
Alright, I'm just checking out the paths away from the place before we jump down and enjoy it proper. After slashing a lizard's tail, well, listen, I hope there's a treasure chest over here, though, so I think I'll pick this up. So now I guess this schemata is entirely defensive and debuffing to a crazy point. That's for sure. So, what we got going on here? The other side of that big tornado. And man, it's close to this part, isn't it? Very close indeed. Well, that said, let's head back and actually speak to some people instead of just explore and look all around them. Hello? Anyone anything to say? Any side quests for me?
What's this? A tourist, eh? If you really want to get any of us to talk, you better go see Adonis first.
Okay, then I'll go meet this Adonis. Where is he? Which way do I go? Which way do I check? Well, let's just check through here first.
It appears that you aren't one of those secutors from the Order. The secutors are the greatest rivals that this gang has. Not that either side is particularly close to getting the Holy Clavis anytime soon. They'll never get it if they can't get that door unsealed.
And to be honest, now that I thought about it, revolving the schemata as well, do we need to have Mediguard on now? Because we could put some other thing or some other spell on something else. I've already switched stuff after we'll take out guards on other ones. But maybe I could put a guard back into one, like, instead of slow maybe, and then stick poison on? But will poison do that much damage? I thought poison does percentage-based damage, so that would be quite interesting to poison enemies instead. See, when you start to delve into the spells and all that, I'm looking at the wrong thing. We still don't have a yellow poison, do we? Unless it's down the bottom of the list here. There we go, which magic plus 40 isn't going to give us all that much, really. And poison the target, which damages the target continually over time. Just doesn't exactly say what exactly it bases that damage off on. That's for sure. So we put poison on that one as well. And then change slow for Mediguard on this one, maybe? It's hard to say, because... Well, I can switch things around and give it a go, but let's keep talking.
So you're the new seed hunter, huh? The job isn't easy, let me tell you. I've warned you. But, seeing you're out here in the land of outlaws and bandits, I'm guessing you can hold your own. Once you've got your hands on some soul seeds, track one of us down. We pay good money for them, don't you worry. And then we sell them to rich folks to make a huge profit. It's win-win.
I'm sure I have a couple of
Looks
seeds.
like you had yourself a successful hunt.
Indeed we do, and 9 of them.
Good job out there. Here you go. Oh, before I forget, our client wants you to have this. A small bonus of sorts.
Okay, we obtain a hero's potion on top of everything. So will I get more rewards if I find more seeds? That wouldn't be bad at all. Let's keep looking.
The buildings here are ancient structures from another age. I don't know whether to call this a town or a fortress, but it's definitely unique.
I'd say definitely criminal is closer. At least there's not much of a dress code, other than looking like a thief.
Supposedly one of my costumes keeps saying I'm not a thief repeatedly, so we're fine with that thing. Right, there's a kid to talk to back there, but first of all, noticing the hum of the treasure chest, I'll grab some Gurengach notes. We're heading round to talk with my lovely flowered weapon.
What are you doing?
Nothing much, just gilling my spots for hall to ear. Dutter do Ewing, wum-ass.
Hope, can you interpret this for me?
It seems to me like it's some kind of code or cipher, but I don't have enough data yet to break it.
Can't you speak normally?
Show knit. Of course I can. Look, I don't have any info about any treasure if that's what you're looking for. I've got no interest in it. Buffet to you.
Doesn't seem like many people choose to live out here unless they're after treasure. So, what's your story?
Me be Lee. The world's going to end soon anyway, right? If that's the case, what's the point in having dreams or working hard?
So, sitting around waiting for the end was the best idea you could come up with. Nice way to spend your last days.
Well, yeah, it's boring, but nothing I do now makes any sort of difference anyway, so why bother? No matter how much I might unravel mysteries of the past, none of these bandits care. They don't even listen to my findings. Trowan even nice to understand.
I get that it's hard to stay motivated when no one appreciates what you do.
I'd say so. If you get it, why are you giving me a hard time? Just leave me alone. I'm done with all of it. I ditched all my equipment in the desert. If you find any of my old things, they're yours. Take them away with you.
I think I may just do that. They deserve better than getting tossed aside by some sulking, spoiled kid.
Fake them 10.
It's a big desert, you know. Do you really expect to find his things out there in the middle of nowhere?
I'd better be able to. After running my mouth like that.
Yes, can't be all mouth, no trousers or anything, but I'm pretty sure we understood pretty much what he was saying, including the hidden swear words in there, but still, let's talk some more.
I feel sorry for that Elmer kid. Losing both of his parents to this desert like he did.
That's pretty heavy. Right. That changes a lot of the thoughts about that, but still, I've little roll. We'll talk to you, though. I think we might have splattered you at the same time. Sorry about that.
Where'd you come from? You're not one of those sneaks from the Order, are you?
Well, would it really matter if I were?
No. I'm not gonna tell you a thing either way, so you might as well move on.
Guess I should have known better than to ask some lowly grunt. You're no help to me. Where's the boss?
If you think you're gonna get to meet our boss, you'd better learn to ask nicely.
Did I hurt your feelings? Excuse me, but would you do me the great honor of showing me the way to your boss? Please.
I don't have no help to spare for strangers. Find the boss yourself.
Delightful lady, cautious bandit, but we'll find someone over here who's in a bit different garb.
Why, hello. Looks like it's your first time to our humble home. Welcome. Do you need a guide?
That's exactly what I need. That and some answers to a few questions I have.
A woman who knows what she wants. Fire away, and I'll do my best.
Rumor has it that you bandits might be able to tell me about the Holy Clavis.
So you know who we are. From what I can tell, you don't look like one of those order lackeys, so what possible use could you have for the Clavis?
Why should I have to tell you that?
You shouldn't, and you don't. You're not one of us, so you can do whatever you want. But I won't be telling you nothing. If you want to know what we know about the Clavis, you'll just have to join our gang, Monoculus. Have you ever wanted to be a bandit? Now's your chance. Not that we let just anyone join us. But we'll at least let you try out. If you don't like that, then I think you know where the exit is. And that's all I've got to say about this. Name's Adonis, by the way. If you want to attempt the trial, just say the word. I'll explain everything you need to know.
If you want to find the Holy Clavis, it looks like there might not be much choice but joining up. I suggest talking to Adonis and finding out what his trial entails. The bandits of this desert have been exploring the ruins for many years. They know what's in there better than anyone. If you want to recover the Clavis, your best hope lies with them.
Well, then I'll ask them then. I'll take part in this trial.
You ready to see if you've got what it takes to join Monoculus? Oh, made your decision, have you? Then let me explain what you'll have to do. There's a giant sandstorm in the desert. You've seen it, right? It's been causing us nothing but grief out here, to say the least. Make it stop. That's your test. Off you go.
Make it stop? The wind? Do you want a bandit or a holy woman?
Oh, fine. Make me explain it all. Look, that thing's not exactly natural. People call it God's wrath. It's magic or a curse or something. If you can trigger the stone monument near it, you should be able to control it, including making it go away.
If you know that, why haven't you taken care of it, instead of asking a stranger?
What, you think a human can control the weather? That's just crazy talk. Now go and give it your all. Best of luck. Beat the monster near the stone monument, and you'll get the key that activates it. And that's the last freebie you'll get from me.
So if you want into the Bandit gang, you'll have to defeat a monster, get a certain key, and somehow use that monument to stop God's wrath.
Hearing what Adonis had to say about it didn't sound like anything a normal person could do.
You're right, it's not a very fair trial. But then again, you are the savior. Doing what regular people can't comes with a job, right?
What's that? You gonna undergo the trial to join the gang? I knew you were an odd one.
An odd one I am indeed. Well, let's talk to these final few people that we saw.
I've been surveying the desert all these long years. But I have been completely flummoxed by those cursed tablets.
I'm sure you have. Well, we've got one of them, and see that there's no more quests around, it seems, apart from this item over here, the Bacti's oil. It's all illuminated in purple. Hello, sir. You selling me something here?
I don't barter. You got that?
Well, that's fine. I wasn't intending to barter, but I got some remedies, a hero's potion on. May as well just add another remedy, I guess. Maybe better safe than sorry, you could say.
Hey, what's with the sourpuss? You don't have a complaint about my fine assortment now, do you?
It's good enough, I suppose.
Go on! I don't need some uppity tourists making demands. Go somewhere else if you don't like my wares. Go on, get!
If you insist, I will. You're not the only merchant around.
That's where you're wrong, Missy. Far as I know, this is the only shop in the desert. There was one other fella, but he couldn't cut it. Lost all his drive to sell out here. When that happens, well, that's the same as death to a salesman.
So, what made him give up?
Damn fool. He bet his dreams on the desert, that's what. Poor old Ramon. He thought he'd make a real name for himself out here, selling to adventurers. But in the end, he lost sight of his dream, and his business.
Sounds good for you, though he doesn't seem like he was much of a rival anyway.
Shut it! You don't know the first thing about him!
Didn't mean to offend you. What's there to get so worked up about anyway?
Nothing. Not a damn thing. It's just like you say. He was nothing at all. It's not like he'd ever been a threat to my business anyway. No, not Ramon. I'm done talking about him. If you want to know more, ask him yourself. You'll find him near that old camp in the giant sandbox.
He was a pretty strange guy, wasn't he? But if he's really the only merchant around like he says, then I guess you'll have to count on him for help.
I do want to find out more for myself about that Ramon fellow. Sorry for cutting you off there, but activating this cactus statue so I can get around faster seems to be a good idea. So, mention him in the... where is it exactly, actually? Over here, isn't it? The giant sandbox. And the easiest way to get to our objective point in the stone marker that was mentioned is from the north gate. So hopefully we'll find our quest there as well. We did get ourselves a couple of quests from coming here, and thanks to these warps we can get around nice and fast. In fact, seeming I'm at 7 EP, I may as well just chronostasis to use some of it at this point in time. And indeed, our quest is here. So, with that said, let us chronostasis. Find out what's on with him as we go on to the whirlwind.
What do you think you're doing, blundering around here and interrupting my precious sleep? You lost or something?
Just looking for a story. I hear that you once had big dreams of striking it rich.
Whatever dreams I had have been lost under the sands.
Then why stay? Why stick it out in the desert?
I owe it to my wife. She's gone now, but the one thing she valued more than her own life is still out there, in that desert. If I could just get it back, I'd be gone from here and never look back.
What could be so important?
Her arithmometer. Back when she was alive, back when we still had our shop, my wife was in charge of keeping the books. I never was good at numbers. But my wife, Monica, she lived by that arithmometer. We're gonna have great sales this month. Next month will be the one for us. Plugging numbers into that silly thing of hers. All with the most joyous smile you've ever seen. That smile of hers. That was my real treasure. And then one day those monsters stole my treasure away from me. Everything ended. My business, my life. I lost Monica and her smile. Now the only wares I have to sell to anyone are regret and despair.
I see. I'm sorry. Do you really think you'll be able to move on if you find your wife's memento, though?
Sure as the desert's dry. If I could just find that arithmometer for her, I'd be done with this place in a heartbeat.
You should consider looking for that arithmometer. Help Ramon move on, and you might be able to save him.
I might be able to save him, but there's monsters coming out of the ground here. They're my first problematic point. Ah, wrong one. Alright, we actually used all our stuff there. So with that said, I'm going to back off a second before our evil lag starts. Frame rate, horrificness. I know you're trying to glutton me here. Oh, I didn't get the beat down on that I wanted. With a jump, stagger, and one down. I can't really guard these in the straightest sense, but just being so defensive works nicely. With a certain someone floundering around above ground, I guess you're immune to poison? Or maybe not. Maybe my poison just didn't stick. Maybe I can't stick it underground. Maybe it's something like that? Or there we go. Poison one's no problem this time. Well, that said, how much of his HP actually drains without me having to hurt him? It does seem to drain quite nicely. So maybe poison does still work on a percentage-based strategy, which means switching that out is probably a brilliant idea. Well, let's reach this whirlwind, this whirlpool, this whirl thing of sand, and get ourselves another treasure chest while we're at it. Lovely jubbly. And maybe I should go up the actual steps that are there for me climbing, rather than anything else. I don't think the monsters are going to get me up here. We'll take Gale Strike level 2, and the monster's coming out of the ground. Alright then, Gorgonospid. We'll dodge you a second, because we know that we can just total you with some quick blizzards. Taking the rush on my switching was never a good idea. Right then. Me hoping the poison sticks, but there we go. Rush me if you want. It's going to hit me, but not do any damage.
Treasure.
Basically, guarding for me now is just going switch.
I'm no thief.
That's one way to do it, I guess. Keep the poison going on until I've got enough to stagger you throughout this horrible lagginess. Because man, it's just stupidly hard to catch you up during that kind of scenario.
Your soul is my plunder.
I just need auroras to get you on and get you out of there, but so close to knocking you out. Another aurora will do.
You can't read me.
No.
Fight
Any
with
spark
everything.
strikes, but it gets so laggy that it's hard to chain what I want to do.
You think you can be forgiven?
At this point in time, I just can't aurora him. To finish the job. There we go, finally. Honest to God, that's not just frame rate lag. That ends up as proper input lag as well. But the poison finishes the job. We'll take an ability. Well, we got the stagger on. Maybe I should equip Gale Strike straight away here. Because it really does seem to work for the land. I hate these enemies. They're all annoying, that's for sure. While lightning attribute attacks will go down. Oh no, I guess we just have to deal with that. We'll get Gale Strike on top. To hopefully break a lot of guys' guards a lot easier. But one more cactor over here. I wonder what kind of notes we've got. Let's get ourselves another warp. Near God's Wrath. And we've got the path to the settlement is closed due to the Sandstorm. Senior Advisor Adonis. So with that said, we're right near our location. We've got ourselves another warp. We've experienced the camp of Ruffian. And so it's time to rebuild the shortcut. And perform an act of the savior. What no human can do. We're going to stop nature, more or less. I'll see you next time for more Lightning Returns as the enemies come to battle. Bye-bye.